So in your programming syllabus, there is no exception error handling practical experiment. But I want everyone have some one at least one experiment regarding this topic. Okay. So today I will show you how you will create the exception error handling. I'm sharing my screen. Okay. So this one is the program. So here we will learn how to handle the error in our program. So when you write a program, there are some syntax error, there may be some syntax error, there may be some compiler will give you some error, there may be runtime error. So whatever the error you have, suppose you are getting error at the runtime. So in that case, what happened? Your total program will not be executed. Okay. So in that case, how you will execute your total program in spite of giving your exception through the runtime, you can handle that situation by giving the error handling method. Okay, so here we will learn how to handle this type of exception. So here you in Java, this Java give us some this type of we can say platform for the exception handling. So in the Java exception, here is a class, and here is the interface. We can say exception. We can implement. We can extend exception. So in this exception, what happened? Whatever the runtime error you have in your program, this program can be handled by this exception. You can see my Eclipse here. This here I have written exception. What is this exception? This is exception we can call, this is the superclass, and if I create the subclass of this exception, so in that case we can handle all the runtime exception. So let's check whether we can handle or not. So we all know that division cannot be done by zero. Okay, when we are going to divide some number by zero, that means it will give us the runtime error. So in that case, we will handle this type of exception. So first of all, we have to import, we don't have to import anything. If you want to give some input from the keyboard, so in that case, you have to import java.util.asterisk. Okay. Otherwise, you don't give any import package. Then you have to create a subclass of that exception. So here I have written a division class. Okay, and this extend the exception. So that means all the method, all the functionality it will and all the member variables it will handle by the division. Okay, so after that division, here it is a constructor. Here inside the constructor we are asking for message. Okay, message, it is the message from here we are going to pass from the main method. Okay, so in this case, when we come to this main method, we are just giving the value from keyboard for x and y. X is for numerator and y is for denominator. So after that we are going to get the value of x. x equals to sc next integer, because integer should be divisible. After that, system.out.println, you have to enter the value of y. So y sc dot next int. So you have entered the value of y and x. Okay. Now I have write here try. Why try? Because you know, I have already taught all of you that whenever we going to take the exception, when exception from the code, so in that case we have to write the try. Without writing the try block, you cannot identify the portion in which the exception can occur. Okay, so you have to write the try. Why I have written here try? Because in this section we are going to divide this x by y. So that is why I have write here try. Okay, try. Under this try block, I just write if y equals to 0, throw new division. So here it is throw new division. What that mean? Throw new division. If you write here throw new division, so in that case division will take as a collector here. As a collector for what? As a collector for exception. Okay, so throw will give you the exception. Okay, exception message. Else x z equals to x by y, it will give us the result. So that means uh, if you run this program, so in that case when you give 5 by 4 or 3 by 2, that program can be that program will run. But when you give x by 0 as 5 by 0, so it will not run. So in that case it will give us a throw. Throw here, it is a message, exception message. Okay, so if you write this one, except throw this message, it will give us the message at that point only. Okay, now after that, here I have written the catch. Catch is for what? Catch is for giving the throw exception. Whatever the exception are here in this section, that exception will catch in this block. Okay, and it will be shown to the it will be shown to a screen. So what type of exception it will have? Suppose here, if you not write this one, this particular things, if you not write, so it will show by its own exception. Here you have written the message division, this division message, division by 0. So this message will print here system.out.println ex, because division is referred by ex dot get message. So all this message will thrown in this block. So this is how you can run your program. You can handle you can handle the error of your program. So this is the exception error handling. If you run this program, suppose, so in that case, first of all, if I run this 44, then 2, so it will give us 22. Fine. But when I give this 44 and second value is 0, so in that case, it will give us division by 0 not possible. Okay, so this is how you can handle your exception. There are so many type of exception, so many type of throwing. So in this case you can handle the basic exception of your program. Okay, so next one we will learn after the exception, multi-threading. Multi-threading, what is multi-threading? All of you know what is multitasking. There's a big difference between multitasking and multi-threading. threading. So what is the difference? Can anyone tell me what is the difference between this? Which one is heavy weighted and which one is low weighted? And which one is very much more efficient for using in case of coding? Which one? Multi-threading or multi-tasking? Anyone tell me what is the concept of multitasking and what is the multi-threading here? Because this small type of question will always come when you sit for some MCQ question for programming. In that case, this type of question will come always. So you should clear your concept. Can anyone tell me what is multitasking and what is multi-threading and what is the difference between these two?
Ma'am, multitasking means like when that the CPU performs multiple tasks, ma'am. Then it is like multitasking. And
Okay.
multi-threading means like multiple processes execution, ma'am. Like, to execute multiple processes.
Multi-processes. Okay. So multitasking, in the case of multitasking, we have the process concept. Okay. So process means CPU. In the CPU, we are in the process. What happened when we are dealing with so many process? Each process will engage CPU for some times. In case of multitasking, okay. So when we are and in case of multitasking, what happened from switching from one process to another process, it will take so many times. Okay, because the CPU time will depends on the processor, so it will take so many times. It will very costly to switch from one process to another process. Even multitasking is a much more heavy weighted, so it is very difficult to manage multitasking in one at a time. But here in the concept of Java, here it is multi-threading. So multi-threading, that means it share one memory. It share one memory to all the thread, and in each of the thread we can use as for job. Okay, so each of the thread can use as a job. But here they are, but here in this case of multi-threading, all the whatever the space they require, this one space is shared by all in multi-threading. But in multitasking, the physical consumption of spaces is much more, because each of the everyone's process have some require some space, and each space cannot be shared by each of the other task. So, but in the multi-thread, one space can be shared by all threads. So, even from one thread, switching off one thread to another thread, it is much more easier than multitasking. So it is much more beneficial for use this multi-thread in spite of multitasking. Okay, so this one is multi-threading. So now we will learn how in the Java, because Java deals with much more services, so it follow this multi-threaded concept. So we will learn how to create a multi-threading. So this one is multi-threading. I thread. Okay, so here also in the thread, what happened? Thread, here you can see class A extend thread. Same thing, thread is extended by A, any class. Okay, then from this thread, class B can also be extended thread. Class C is also extends thread. So that means one thread here one thread is, main thread is here. When the main thread is going to run, in that case all this A, B, C, this three child thread, we can say these three are the child thread, they are started. Okay, so in the parallel of this main thread, they are working with the sharing of CPU time. They just finished their job. So this is under the A, you can see one thing you should remember, that thread, here in this thread, A is extends thread. So A is going to implement the run method, because without implementing the run method, you cannot start your thread, any thread, child thread, any thread. But from main thread, it will it need no need to start the run, because it is not extend by the thread. When it is when compiler get the main static void main, that means this main thread, without any implementation of run process, it will start it running. So we don't need any kind of run method for the main thread, because we have static. You can see we have static. So but when we are going to create our, when we're going to start our thread, child thread, in case each of the child thread, we have to start the run, we have to implement the run method. You can see for the A, here it is run method. For B, here it is also run method. For C, here it's also run method. So when A started, implements this run method, it start to print from 1 to 10. Okay. After that, when B start, it will start from start printing from 1 to 10. Then C, it will start from 1 to 10. But when we execute, one thing you can see here, in A class 1, that means 1, it is printed. But in B, you can see B, next one is B class 1, C class 2, next B again print their 2 here. Why? Because in this case, when A started, after that B shared the same CPU time, then after the C shared the same CPU time, then after B, then A. That means this synchronization is controlled by the priority of the thread. Okay, so this is the sequence, and it is depends on the priority of the thread. If the priority is higher, then it will get the more time to utilize the CPU. And if it is lower, then it will get small time to utilize the CPU. Okay, so this is the creation of multi-threading. Next one, it is applet. So applet we will start in next lab session. So for any question, any question you have, then you can tell me regarding this programs. Anything? Have you understood how you can create the exception, how you can handle the exception, how you can create the thread? Thread can be created by using two methods. Here it is showing by extending thread. Okay. You can also implement the thread method, or by I'm not telling that method. You can also create thread by implementing thread. So there are the two way by for creating thread. One is by implementing a thread. Another one is by extending the thread. So here it is extending. We have I have written this one by extending. Now this is your task to create multiple thread, or this is a question. I will give you the question. You have to create multiple thread by implementing thread method. Okay, so this is your task, and exception you can do it by your own, but it is not in your syllabus, but you can do it. Exception. Mm, then after we have only applet program. This applet program, in the next lab we will start this applet program. Before that you have to go through the applet programming, the theory part, whatever I have completed. This one theory part in the applet, this part you have to learn, and in the next session lab we will start this program. Okay, so anything, any question you have? Any question?
No, ma'am.
Have you
No, ma'am.
understood? Have you understood how you will create the thread, and
Yes,
how you
ma'am.
will handle? Yes. Okay. So tomorrow is your class from 11 o'clock, but tomorrow we have some meeting. I don't know whether your class will be or not. If it is there, then your task too. Just a minute, I will give you task. So model view controller pattern. This unit number 4. We will revise this unit number 4 tomorrow. Everyone have to prepare this unit, and I can ask you some question. If you have also any doubt in this section, you can also tell me. Okay. So I will give you some assignment. You have to submit it by Thursday. That means by 10th February. Okay, you have to submit it by 10th February. So please tell me your attendance. Only Neha, Satyam, Aryaman, so have any question? Anything?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So in the previous whatever the assignment, it was any question? Aryaman, have you done all the? Have you submit, Aryaman? Have you submit? No, I think not.
No, ma'am.
Why?
Ma'am, I could not do some work, ma'am, because I had some work at home, ma'am.
You have you understood?
Yes,
Have
ma'am.
you? Then on 10th you have to submit all.
Okay, ma'am.
From the first you have to submit all.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So thank you everyone.
Thank you, ma'am.